Maya Angelou has been a kind of cross between a mentor and a surrogate grandmother for me over the last 20 years. I've learned a tremendous amount from her. She's an incredibly wise woman, but she's a very to the point, from the gut person. She doesn't mince words and she doesn't waste time. And I said to her one day, if you could sum up the underlying fundamental of your work as a writer, what would it be? And she said that we are more alike than unalike. This is the most fundamental issue that I've been trying, most fundamental truth that I've been trying to share with readers. And in a way, Toward a Season of Peace is not that far removed from that notion. Because when you look at the world we live in today, and particularly the Middle East, and you have within a model, which in this case is a piece of music lasting about 50 minutes, 10 minutes, less than an hour, a model of texts that involve both Hebrew, Arabic, some Farsi, some Aramaic, and English, translated from Farsi. You see that these are the languages that represent the parts of the world in which peace is most elusive. These languages represent countries that would welcome the idea of seeing one another wiped off the planet. So knowing that that creates a stalemate and that creates an endless lose-lose situation, my thought was going back to something that Abba Eban said before a special concert in Dallas in 1991, in which he asked the audience, the thing that we need to ask ourselves as a people of the world is, what must we do to recognize war as an obsolete way of solving the world's problems? Now, once in a while in history, we see this transformation, this turnaround from the usual tactics. It happened in 1977 with Sadat and Begin and Carter. But you don't see it very often. And you don't see it very often because what's required is forgiveness, which is sometimes the hardest thing to do, whether it's with oneself or with someone else. So, in a sense, what I remembered from my first and only Nowruz in Tehran at the age of 8 was that Nowruz represented, first of all, a triumph of light over darkness, because it's the period where the days, first day of spring, where the days begin to be longer rather than shorter. It's also a period of reconciliation. In Iran, people who have rifts and rows with one another that haven't spoken to each other for months usually bury the hatchet on Nowruz, you see. It's in that way a phenomenal opportunity for healing and forgiveness. So you can see how this ties in so beautifully with the idea of a work that might be titled Toward a Season of Peace. The season, of course, is spring. And spring in this work, and many of the texts of this work, is used as a metaphor for that renewal and transformation.